Hi everybody, this is Virginia Milner coming to you with another video, and we are just around the corner from Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead. So we have to do something with that. Have to. Cannot let this pass. So anyway, so what I thought I would do, everybody got such a big kick out of the ear wires that we did, that you don't need pierced ears, you don't need clips or whatever, and just seemed to love that so much that I decided to do one with for ear cuffs instead. So today we are going to do not one, not two, but three different styles of ear cuff that you can make and wear with some little symbols that represent Dia de los Muertos. My Spanish is terrible. Anyway, that you can decorate and wear in different ways. I wanted to give you a few different options. Let me get this one with this cutesy little skull on it. Turn around so they can see your adorable little face. And so I wanted to do that. I even bought this ear just so I could demonstrate. And it's a weird size. I mean, it doesn't look like any real person's ear that I've ever seen. But anyway, I wanted to do that today, give you three different styles that you can use, and you can decorate any way you want. You can put things on them. You can leave any of these you can do without any dangles. That's this one. Or anything on it. You can just wear the wire itself, or you can add to it, or do what you want with it. I wanted to make sure that you can do it in a bunch of different ways. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm kind of looking forward to this because I really like these little things. They're so cute. They're lightweight. They're easy to wear, and they're for everybody. Well, yeah, everybody. And you don't have to do two of them. You can just make a little statement by sliding one of them on with your pierced ears or with your clip ears or whatever. You just wear it right here in wrap it right around the part of the ear where it catches, where the cartilage is, and it just holds in place. I guess I could put it on and demonstrate. I've got earrings on, but anyway, just slide it right in there. Wraps right around the ear, so you can see the little thing that wraps right in there. And piece of cake. So easy to make, so fun to make, and you only need your basic tools and a couple of little random things. So you need your round nose pliers, your flat or square or chain nose pliers, your cutters. I don't know why I have these scissors here. I don't need those. A ruler, and some cylindrical item that I just had. Oh, here we go. A Sharpie. You can use a Sharpie or the handle of your pliers to shape the part that goes in your ear. It doesn't need to be, you don't need any special tool for that part of it. You just need your basic tools and a ruler and a pen or a Sharpie or anything round that you can use for shaping. So let's get started because we have three different ones that I want to show you how to do, and it's a lot of fun. So let's get going. Okay. So for starters, we're using 20 gauge wire throughout. So let's go with that. So for the first one, I'm going to show you the one that's a little more exacting as far as measurements go. That under the camera where you can see it. There we go. So the measurements on this are a little more exact. The others are more random and freeform and less measuring required, except for the amount of wire that you get. So for this one, we're going to start with 5 1/4 inches of wire. So 5 1/4 inches of wire. Cut it off. Okay, and the first thing that I want to do is take my round nose pliers and put a bend in it right at the 2.5 inch mark. So I'm going to go down here to my ruler, measure off 2.5 inches, take the tip of my round nose pliers, slide it on the wire, just grab that, and I'm going to bend the short end over my pliers. Just like that. And then you can do this with each bend, or you can wait and squeeze them all at the same time. It's up to you, but I want to show you how to do this when I don't have a lot of other things going on. So what I want to do is squeeze this so that there's just a little bit of space in between the wires. And the easiest way that I've found to do this, let me get up here to the camera, is the hand that I'm using to hold the wire is going to be pulling this way. The hand that I use to hold the pliers is going to be pulling against that, and we're going to be squeezing at the same time. That gives me an element of control. It's not just kind of flailing around up here and trying to do something other than what I wanted to do. So I'm going to hold on to it with my pliers. I'm squeezing, I'm pulling in both directions, and just very lightly squeezing. And this is dead soft wire, so you don't have to squeeze too hard. It will cooperate. So now I just have a little bit of space in between my wires. There's not an exact measurement for that. It just doesn't have to be huge. So there we go. So I've got that one bend in the wire. And then I'm going to go to the longer side, the side with the longer wire, and I'm going to bend that 1 1/8 inches from the curve. So I'm going to find 1 1/8 inches on my ruler. I'm going to grab the wire right there with the tip of my pliers and put a little bend in it so I don't have to struggle with it. And I'm going to put my pliers in there right there at the tip again. I'm going to make a bend. Bring that down until these wires are also side by side. So now I have another bend in my wire. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and squeeze that so there's not too much space in between the wires. Same process as before, pulling and squeezing. There we go. Okay, so that is step number 2. So then the next thing that I'm going to do is take the longer, the wire that has the longer edge, and I'm going to bend that over this curve here. So I'm going to grab my round nose pliers and I'm going to put it right in between the round. Let's see if I can get down here closer. I'm going to put it right in between the curved wire and the straight wire, and just there, just above where the curve is where I want my pliers to be. And I'm going to go down. It depends on your pliers. I can't give you an exact spot on your pliers to go because all round nose pliers are not created equal. So you just want to make sure that you can curve this down over the other wire. So I'm going to bring this long tail around and over that curved wire like so. So now I have what looks like a little, sort of like a paper clip. Yeah. And so I want that to be a little bit squeezed as well, a little closer together, not as much space equal amount of space on both sides. There we go. There. Okay, so now what I want to do is take the shorter tail. Here's my long one. Here's my shorter one. I'm going to take this shorter one and I'm going to make a spiral. It's not going to be a huge spiral, but just a little spiral. Scoot that out a little bit. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to make a nice spiral. I'm going to take the tip of my pliers and I'm going to spiral it away from the other wires. Just make a tiny, tiny little loop with the tip of my pliers. Like so. And then I'm going to continue to spiral. So there we have one. There's my first little spiral. Okay, and then I'm going to take the long tail of wire and I want to curl it over this first spiral, because when I curl it over, it's going to be spiraled in the opposite direction of this one. So I'm going to curve this over my small spiral here. I'm just going to use my fingers to do that. I'm holding it with my thumb and forefinger, and I'm just rounding it over my little spiral, like so. So I have almost a U shape, but it's a little more, it's kind of sticking out at the side as well. Okay. Spiral a little further up. Here we go. And now I'm going to make a spiral going in the opposite direction. Got my round nose pliers again. Grab that very tip and start to make a tiny little loop if I can grab it. Come on. I usually use my fingers to hold it, but I'm always afraid that you won't be able to see what I'm doing unless I hold it in midair. And that's hard to do when you're doing that. Okay, so I hope that was visible. So I'm going to make my little loop. Come on. All right. And continue my spiral. And you can grab your pliers to do this too. If you're more comfortable with that. Close that up just a little bit. And spiral it. Here we go. And then I just want to make a few little adjustments on it. I want my spirals to be kind of lined up, one right under the other. Let's check this and see what I have here. A little further over. Sorry about the silence. Okay. Here we go. Make sure I'm matching them up because I want to make a pair. Let's see here. Over a little bit further. And if you're just doing one, you don't have to do all of this matchy stuff. But if you're making a pair, you want them to match. So I need to adjust. Now, normally when you make these, you can kind of work on them together. And then that way you do one and then you do the other. And you can watch what you're doing with both of them. But since I already made one for a demo, okay, make sure we got this going good here. Yes. There we go. All right, so there's that. And what you want this to look like, check here. You want this to be about a third of the way down your wire, because this is going to bend around your ear. Yeah. Checking and checking and checking. Make sure everything looks good. Yes. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is this part of it. We're going to bend it. Just double checking. Sorry, lots of checking. Oh, I think I got it finally. My goodness. Check it with the other one. It's pretty good. Okay, so now it's time to do my little wrap for it to go around my ear. So I can either use the handle of my tool, or I can use a Sharpie. It's entirely up to you what you use. Absolutely your choice. So what I'm going to do is just use the Sharpie. And I'm going to put my little swirls on the Sharpie. I'm going to take my thumb on one side and on the other side, and I'm going to just wrap it around the Sharpie. Now you can use a hammer and a block for this, but if you don't really need that. I don't want to throw you into thinking you need extra tools, because you really don't. And then what I'm going to do after that is take my pliers. I can either squeeze it with my fingers, just squeeze it all the way around. I mean, that's really all you need to do. Or you can take your pliers and push ends down. Just push them down against whatever you're using as a mandrel. Now, after I finish this, you can see where it's gotten kind of all out of shape. So I just need to make some adjustments to get everything back to where it should be. Let me just reshape my little spirals here until everything looks the way it should. There we go. And this is soft wire, so it really does work with you. Get these little guys together and just make the necessary adjustments. Yeah. There. And there it is. There's the part that goes around your ear, the part that's nearest to the swirls. This goes inside the ear. I can't show, well, I can show you on this one, but since they're opposites. The part that's nearest the swirls goes inside the ear, and the smaller one goes around the back of the ear. Okay, so you can wear it just like that. You really don't need to do anything to this because it is so cute and so pretty. Let me turn it, there we go. But because we are celebrating Day of the Dead, it just wouldn't work without a little skull or two, right? So we're gonna add a little embellishment. So I'm gonna just take about 2 inches of wire. It doesn't have to be a lot because I just want to continue my little swirls. I'm gonna make a little loop on the bottom or on one side, one end of my wire. Let's make a little loop, just like I did on my other spirals. And I'm going to continue the spiral around. I'm just wrapping the wire around itself until I have a little spiral. Let's make that little loop a little smaller. There we go. And give it a little more of a spiral here. Yeah, I think that's enough for my little guy. Yeah, let's back that up a little bit so that it's going to fall directly under. The head of my skull. Yeah, that's cute. That looks good. Okay. And we're just going to do a simple loop. So I'm going to clip this down to about a little less than ½ an inch. and it's going to attach this way. So I want to make sure my loop is going front to back so that my spiral shows on the front, on the face of my skull here. So I bend that back or to the front of my skull, and then I just make a small loop. Open it up, slip it on my spiral, close it. And we are ready to go to town. How do you like that? Isn't that cute? Yes, very nice. I love it. Very easy to do, very simple. This one has the most measurement to it, but it's worth it. It's worth the effort. Okay, that's the first one down. Let's move on to the next one. We go ahead and get set up here for a second. All right, next on the list is going to be this pretty girl. This pretty one. We're going to make this one. The other one had all of the decoration on the bottom, and this time we're going to put the attachment or the cuff part in the center, and we're going to decorate the top and the bottom. So we've got our little skull. Ooh, that's really weird looking close up. We've got our little skull on the top and a rose on the bottom, or you can put the rose on the top and the skull on the bottom. It's entirely up to you, your design, you do it. So let's get started. The first thing we need is 5.5 inches of wire. So let's get that cut. Yeah. Again, still using 20 gauge. All of them count, all of them call for 20 gauge wire. Let's straighten that up just a tad. There. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is put a bend about 2 3/8 from one end of my wire. So here we go. 1 2 3/8. Now you can just use your fingers, but I'm going to use the tip of my pliers simply because it makes it easier for me to close it up, because I don't have as much space to close up if I use the little tip here. And again, I'm going to close it in a little bit using the same technique that I did before, pulling in opposite directions with my fingers and the pliers and squeezing at the same time. I know it sounds like a lot. It's not. Just take your time and squeeze slowly. This is I'm using dead soft wire, so you don't have to strangle it. I'm squeezing. Okay, so we've got that one bend. Open it up just a tiny, tiny bit. Okay, now I'm going to bend this short tail, back to my ruler, 1 inch from the tip, or the curve, 1 inch from the curve. So here's my curve, grab it at the 1 inch mark with my pliers again. I'm going to bend that. Oh, I should put the bend in down here. It's easier. Let's put a little curve in there. Double check. Sure it's 1 inch. Yes. See, I got a little slap happy and beyond my inch. Okay, there's my inch. All right. There. Okay, and now I'm going to bend my wire. Oops, I'm off camera, sorry. Bend my wire over the little tip of my pliers like so. And again, go in and close that up until there's just a tiny bit of space in between the two wires. Squeeze. Okay, and then I'm going to bend the long wire in the opposite direction, doing the same thing because I want that right here at the curve where I just bent the short wire. So I'm going to go ahead and bend this over so that it matches the curve on the other side. So this long tail, you can use your fingers or you can use the pliers, but I find that it's probably easier to make sure that I have a match if I use my fingers at least to start it and then go into the ply with the pliers and continue bending. And I check as I go just to make sure that those curves are matching up as close as possible. This is the part that's going to go in your ear. And you want it to match. So there I have my two curves. Let's go ahead and close up some of that space in between the wires again. Double check, yes, that looks good. And continue with the squeeze and pull technique. Squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. There we go. And so this is what I have so far. Kind of a little M, sideways M. Yes. So now, where's my sample? What did I do with it? Oh, there it is. So now we're going to make our, we're going to put our embellishments on. So what I want to do is, because I want to make sure they're opposites, this one's going to go down, this is going to go up. There, it has to be mirrored. There we go. So it's going to go this way, and my my little skull is going to go up here, and the loop is going to go in the opposite direction of this one. This one is going that way. This one needs to go the other way. So what I'm going to do is give myself about 3/8 of an inch of wire. So I'm going to measure about 3/8 of an inch of wire from the curve, from where it's curved. Here we go. I'm going to bend it straight up, like so. I like to check, double check, triple check, make sure my measurements are good. There you are. And then I'm going to take my little skull, slide it on. see where I'm going with this, right? Come back, come back, come back. Slide my little skull on, and then I'm going to make my spiral going in the opposite direction of this one. This one's going away that way. This one's going that way. So the other one should go the other direction. Yes. So I'm just going to take my pliers, and it's just going to, this is a mini spiral. It's not going to be very big. Take my pliers, grab the tip of my wire with the tip of my pliers, make a teeny tiny loop, and just continue rotating until I have a tiny spiral. Up there. Ooh, and I ended up with a little loop. It's not exactly matching the other one, but that's okay because I can cut this one down to match it. So there we go. We have a tiny mini fake spiral. There's the top. And now I want to go down here and do the same thing on the bottom, bending 3/8 of an inch or the exact same spot away from where my top one is bent. So I'm just going to bend that with my fingers, like so. And that is where my little rose is going to go. And you can put the rose on, you can put something else on. I could put one of the crosses on, but I thought this was very pretty. Okay, and again, I want to go the opposite direction of the spiral on this one. So this spiral is going that way. So I want this spiral to go that way. I'm going to cut this down to about an inch. Don't need that big a spiral. About 1.25 inches. Snip that off and make my spiral. Make sure I'm going the right direction. Yes, that way. Grab the tip of my wire with the tip of my pliers again and make a small loop. And I want to keep an eye on this so I can hopefully duplicate that one as closely as I can. This is a freeform piece, very organic, so it's not going to look like it came off an assembly line, and it shouldn't look like it came off an assembly line. So I'm going to grab my pliers and finish the spiral up. And all I'm doing is just wrapping the wire around itself. I have a nice little spiral. A little bit closer together. I could have left that tip on there, couldn't I? Wait. Okay. More. Teeny bit more. And there's my embellishment. I got my rose, I've got my skull, I've got my rose, and now I'm ready to do the wrap. Now, I showed you how to do it on a Sharpie. Really, you can do it on anything. So I'm going to do it on the edge of these pliers. Just going to place my embellished parts on there. And it's probably easier when you have all of this going on to just do it with your fingers, but you can start it with something around there just so you have a little bit of basis of the way you want to go. Just start turning it and then finish it off with your pliers. You're just making a curve. It's curving it around like so on both sides. Make these as even as possible. And just keep curving. Until I have a nice hook for my ears. Now, everybody's ears are different. Your right ear and your left ear are not going to be exactly the same. So what I would suggest is that when you're doing this, you try it on your ear and then you squeeze it on your ear. And you can open and close this. Once you squeeze it on your ear and get it nice and snug so that it won't fall off, you can always just slide it back out, or you can open and close it a little bit if you need to. Okay, there's my wrap. There's my earring. Just make some little adjustments so that it looks the way I want. If I don't want these spread out as much as I have them, I can squeeze them together. Get them a little closer. And there we go. There's my second pair of ears. There's my second ear cuff. Isn't that cute? Let's see if I can slide that on this guy. Yeah, excuse me. Okay. Let's put it on my little ear. This ear is weird. Things fit on there differently than they do on my ear because it's not my ear. Here we go. Here it is. Isn't that cute? Let's get this over just a little bit there. There we go. Isn't that darling? Now, if I want this to get a little, no, again, this is not a real ear. So it's got the hugest earlobe. I don't know who they modeled this after, but whatever. But there it is. There's our second pair of ear, or our second ear cuff. Isn't he cute? Or she cute? She's adorable. Sweet piece of cake. Easy, easy. Georgian easy. All right. Let's go on to the next one. I don't think I need to do much setup. We're going to do this one, which is, I just did the same thing and just turned it 2 different ways. So we've got either the cross on the top or the cross on the bottom. So here's the cross on the bottom with the swirl, the big swirl on the top. And this one has the cross on the top with the big swirl on the bottom. Either way, cute as can be. So let's do that one. All right, my goodness, all these different lovely things. So what we need is our same old basic pliers. For this one, we're going to use 6 inches of wire. All right, so I've got my 6 inches. Okay, cut that off. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do you kind of start to see a pattern. First thing we do is shape our little bends in the wire for what we're going to use to put in our ear. So for this, we're going to go 2.5 inches from the tip. Where am I? There. 2.5 inches from the tip. Grab that. And I'm going to make a bend. Okay. Do my little pull and squeeze. Okay. And then I'm going to take the long tail of wire and I'm going to bend it an inch from the curve. Starting to sound familiar? Because it is. After a while, it just gets to be habit. Okay, there we go. Pull and squeeze. And then we're going to do a little curve in. So we have a little zigzag. Yeah. So now I'm going to make a little curve. I'm going to curve it in a little bit, and then I'm going to curve it around, like so, on both sides. So it's right, not exactly in the middle, but close to the middle. So this is what we have. Yeah. So now I'm going to take my cross. Oh, did I get a cross? Oh, here we go. I'm going to take my little cross and slide it on either one of these. I usually kind of do. It doesn't matter. They're pretty similar. Slide it on one side. And depending on whether or not you want your cross to be on the top or the bottom. Now I've got it turned up. So it's obviously going to be the top. So that's going to be the top. If I wanted to make it the bottom, I would just flip it the other way. And so it would be down there. And the spiral would be on top. So it just depends on which way you want to do it. Here are my two options. Oops. Top, bottom. Both of them are pretty. Either way works. All right. So I'm going to put mine on the bottom. This is a shorter one. Yeah, slightly shorter. So I'm going to put mine on the bottom, like so, with the short edge facing up and the long edge facing down. And I'm going to make a spiral. Now what I'm going to do is bend this back because I want my spiral to end up directly under my under the bottom of my cross. So I'm going to bend this back a tiny bit. Not exactly a right angle, but almost. And then I'm going to start my spiral. And again, we begin every spiral the same way. Tip of your pliers. Grabbed by the tip, grabbing the tip of your wire. I like to kind of give myself some leverage by leaning it on my finger. I know it makes it hard for you to see what I'm doing, but it's easier than me trying to grab this in midair and ending up with this sliding all over the place. I'm going to grab that tip, give it a turn. Now maybe I can do the midair thing. So now I'm just going to rotate until I have a tiny spiral. So there's my tiny spiral. And then I'm going to keep rotating until I have my wire wrapped around itself to create the spiral. Now I can continue to do it that way, or I can grab my pliers and do it from the side, or I can use my fingers. Whichever way works better for you is fine. There's really no wrong way to do it. I just make some adjustments, squeeze it so that my loops settle in a certain way, whatever way I want. If I'm trying to match up what I've already done, I can use that as my example. But as you can see, when I bend my wire out to the side, my spiral is going to end up directly under whatever it is I'm putting it on. So there's my spiral, there's my cross, and that's the bottom of my cuff. And now I'm going to make the top. I'm going to make a larger spiral. Did I do opposites yet? Did I? So that needs to go, let's see. That's going that way. This one needs to face it. And so this spiral needs to go that way. Yes. So I want to mirror this. Yeah. I need to go the opposite direction. So I'm going to go this way with my spiral. It's perfect, I think. Actually, I want to go back and around. Yep. So I've already got a little curve in here. Tip of my pliers again. Grab the tip of my wire. And start my loop. Teeny tiny, tiny, teeny. Not as small as I want, so I'm going to give it a little squeeze carefully. There we go. And just continue with my spiral. I think you can see better now. It's wrapping it around itself. See my spiral starting to form. So it's pliers inside. And just keep going. And just make whatever adjustments I need to make so that my spiral looks the way I want it to look. There we go. Zoom it down a little bit more. There we go. Isn't that cute? More there. There we go. Nice. So now, get this a little bit of a squeeze here. Doesn't need to be that big. There, isn't that nice? So now what I'm going to do is shape it. And again, you can use your fingers, you can use the side of your pliers. Yeah, I didn't show you this way to do it yet. I showed you the Sharpie. I showed you how to use just your pliers, or you can use the side of your tool and just squeeze. All I'm doing is squeezing all of my little ends, all of my curved ends around my pliers. There we go. Until I have a nice little curve that will go in my ears. And just shape that around. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And again, you're going to make the adjustment to fit your own ear. So you're just using the shaping tool to get a curve. And then the rest of it comes from when you put it in your ear. And squeeze it. So once I get it in my ear, I just squeeze it so that it fits. That's it. Make some adjustments to it so that it lays the way you want it to lay. And there you go. Oh, so cute. I love it. Love it, love it. And it will not come off. It just wraps right around that part of your ear. Now I've seen some where it's up here. This isn't that kind. It has to have a larger spot because it just wraps all the way around. It wraps on each side of, I guess, the cartilage of your ear. I also like to give it a little bit of a bigger curvature in right here at the tip. Just so I have a better kind of grip. So there we go. Just slide it on. Shape it the way I want it to go, the way I want it to lay. And there we are. Isn't that the cutest thing? I just love these. These are awesome. Push it down a little bit right here to my towards the outside of my ear, of my ear. Isn't that cute? And then I can take something else and dangle it on the bottom. For instance, this jalapeno pepper. The people that get kits, you're going to get a very, very interesting selection of things that you can put on your earrings. I'm going to give you the crosses, some roses, some skulls. Of course, you have to have the skulls, and jalapeno peppers, because I saw that on a necklace. I saw that on a Day of the Dead necklace, and I thought that was the cutest thing. So I'm going to just make a little jump ring. I'm just going to take my pliers and slide my 20 gauge wire back to the very back of my pliers. And I'm just going to rotate until I have a full loop for a jump ring. There we go. And I'm just going to clip it. Hold on to that tail because I don't want it to go flying across the room. So there's my jump ring. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to attach my little jalapeno charm. And I'm going to dangle it from the bottom of my ear cuff. Let me take it off. I'm going to take it off of here. It's easier to put it on, I think. Open it, close it. Make sure the edges are flush together. Isn't that cute? Oh my gosh, that is so cute. Anyway, you will be getting all of a selection of all these lovely things. You'll get a rose, you'll get a jalapeno with a cross, and the skulls, so that you can do what you do best, which is use your imagination to create the craziest things that you can for Day of the Dead. Because why not? It is a fun thing to do. And put it down here where you can really see. It's a fun thing to do. And you don't even have to just wear these for Day of the Dead. I mean, they're so cute that you should be able to wear them for just about anything. There we go. That way. And what else do we have here? Is that the other one? Yeah, there's the other one to that. Turn the little face around. There we go. And do I have a matching one for the, oh, it's this one. Without the jalapeno on it. Aren't they cute? Love them. Oh, I knew there was another one. I was going to say I'm missing a pair. Here we go. No, doesn't want to cooperate. Yeah. All right. So there we have it. This is our contribution to Day of the Dead. Get down there where you can be seen. And we're going to have a fun time because, I mean, what's more fun? Well, can't really go out and get candy when you're my age, but I can still have fun. It doesn't matter. So So there we are, ladies and gentlemen. This is our tutorial for Day of the Dead. We've made 3 ear cuffs. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you will join in and make some of your own, because it's a real hoot. I mean, they are so cute. And I think it would be a shame if you didn't take advantage of this opportunity to do something a little bit different, that you don't have to wear pierced ears. You don't have to have pierced ears. You don't have to wear those clips that sometimes can squeeze the life out of your earlobes. You can just slide on a little ear cuff and go to town and just, I mean, really, isn't that the cutest thing ever? Turn your little face around. There you go. I mean, really, it's so cute. Well, I guess if I put it on my finger, that would work. Here we have it. Yes. Okay, let's do this, everybody. I want to see yours. I want to see what you make. I want to see your imagination come to life. Okay, so here we go. We've got our little ear cuffs all made, and I couldn't help it. I had to put a pair on. They're so cute and so comfortable. So this is it. This is what we're doing today. This is perfect for Day of the Dead, All Souls Day, All Saints Day, all of them. So go ahead and make these. You don't have to put skulls and crosses and jalapenos and what else, roses on there. You can make these and put any kind of embellishment on that you like. They are so versatile. They look great. They feel good all day. You don't have to worry about any clamping and hurting your earlobes. You don't have to worry about having pierced ears. Don't need it. Go for it. Have fun. Wear one. Just wear one. You don't even have to wear 2 of them. You can just make a statement that way. But anyway, that's it for today. I can't even imagine how long this video is, because I know I went on and on. But I wanted to give you 3 different options, so that takes a little time. I hope you appreciate it, and I hope to hear more about what you're doing and see some of the things that you make. Please show me. Please make sure to give me feedback, because I need to know if something's too dark, or went off camera, which I do occasionally if I get really concentrating and I'm not looking up and at the cameras. I'm not a professional by any means. I don't claim to be. I don't pretend to be. But I do try to do my best so that you can follow what I'm doing. If you can't, if there's a problem, if there's something, whether you think I can fix it or not, please tell me, and I will try to fix it. Right now, I'm surrounded by lights with shower curtains over them to diffuse the light, because I can't afford to go out and buy a bunch of fancy schmancy lights, and I saw on YouTube that would help with shadowing. So we'll see if it works. Anyway, until next time, stay safe, enjoy your week, enjoy your weekend, and see you later.